Hi everybody, it's Anjanette from AJ's Personal Touch. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my subscribers and welcome to anybody new. Um, I'm coming on, I guess, just to do some crochet and chat. See how you guys are doing. I know I'm behind on a lot of things. I am hoping that maybe tomorrow, if I get caught up on some things that I'm really behind on, like my daughter's birthday gift that needs to be done this week, um, that I can come on and read a chapter of Anna Karenina. I do believe I should be able to put that in tomorrow, but we will see. Never know. It's a Sunday. Never know what's going to happen around here. Um, my husband's working an extra shift tonight, so he should be sleeping most of the day. But I thought he was going to do that when he did a double shift last weekend, and he did not. So we will see, as I said. I have a question for you guys. I was in a Zoom class last weekend, and before we got started, and we were talking about grief, um, the person who was teaching, well, one of the teachers, two people who were teaching the course, uh, did a guided imagery. Now, I have sat through a lot of guided imageries. I've taught deep breathing, um, and how to do um, deep breathing, like in my massage practice, in order to, if I was working on an area that was sore, things like that, to help you get through it, but also to center yourself. So, first of all, I'm thinking I may add at the beginning or the end of my videos just to take a breath with me type of thing. I had meant to do that. I was going to start it like 2 years ago, and then I was watching, oh, Shiara, I always say her name wrong, I think, but from Lion Brand, who I love. And, well, she used to be with Lion Brand. She is a daughter of one of the creators, I think. I know it's her family has been, that like opened Lion Brand. Her brother is the one who's in charge of all the new yarns and things, but she's in charge of the making the blue hats and things for against the blue hats against Hat Not Hate. There we go. Sorry, you guys know my memory has issues right now. Anyway, I just remember Shiara Roars, but I used to watch her daily when she used to be with Lion Brand before she left Lion Brand to just do Hat Not Hate. And she used to do a cleansing breath at the end. And like I said, I had wanted to start doing that before I even watched her. But then I saw she was doing it, and me, or those of you who have been around might know me well enough to know that I used to have some really bad self-esteem. It still takes a hit every once in a while, and I revert back to my ways that I'm trying to not do that anymore. Um, but I was wondering what you guys thought of taking a nice, deep, centering breath, either at the beginning or the end. And I was thinking, or both, depending on, I guess, what we might need or what I might need for that day. Let me was thinking the beginning would be a good part, but I guess depending on what I'm talking about or what I'm doing. So, since I'm going to do crochet with me today, I figured it's a good day to start. And I'm going to open with a nice, deep cleansing breath. The only thing is because I'm going to be doing it, it's going to be hard for me to count it for you guys. So, let's take a nice, deep breath, like a count of 10. And I will try to count with my fingers instead of talking. I tried to talk it with somebody the other day while I was doing it. I'm like, okay, that does not work. So let me put my nice deep breath. Whew, that seems like a long time when you're counting it like that. So what it will be for the next time that we do it, 10 in and then 10 out, because you want to let it out just as slowly as you took it in. That way it goes deep and it's cleansing. It's kind of hard for me to get to go deep right now when I wanted to stop at like 5 because I got my little baby right here in my lap. Was not been spending time with me today until she heard me start to talk to you guys. So let me get this so I can work on it. I'm going to try and work on it below where you can see, and of course she's in the way. She did the same thing to me last night. I'm actually on the last round of the border. This is a tester pattern, and I'm not sure if I can show it yet. I know the due date is the 29th. I will be putting it in my projects on Ravelry just as soon as I'm done. Probably right after we get off of here. So I don't know if it will show it to you though until it's released. So, but, I just thought, I miss you guys. I was thinking of doing an impromptu live tonight. I don't know how many people are out of town, how many people might be around who might enjoy it. I don't know. This weekend is, it just reminds me of waiting on Emily to be born. This was actually the way that this weekend is falling. It's actually how it was the year before Emily was born. Her birthday is the 30th, and she was born on Friday the 30th of May. So that would have been when there was Memorial Day weekend, like this year, where it falls the weekend, before the last days of the month, because it's the last full weekend of the month. But when it did that for her, Friday was the day she was born. So, and that was the 30th. So that'll be next year. But even so, it still reminds me of back then, 27 years ago this year. She'll be 27. And just, oh my goodness, how we were so worried. She was already late. She was supposed to be born. Let's see if I can remember. Just the adjustment here. She was supposed to be born, I believe, either on I think on the 16th. I think she was exactly 2 weeks late. But for some reason, the 15th is popping in my head too. So it was somewhere around there. She was definitely 2 weeks, if not 2 weeks in a day, or something like that. She was late. She still came out such a teeny, teeny, tiny little baby. And I really wish that I would have been a better believer in my crochet skills at the time, because at the time I was still just making baby blankets. And yeah, I made her two, and one of them was my first mosaic, and I didn't even know it. It just said that it was a reversible blanket, and I still cannot find the pattern that I used for it. So I don't know if it was on a label or if it was in some kind of little newsletter or something, and I ended up throwing it away, which I'm very sad about now, because at the time it just seemed, oh my goodness, it seemed so hard. It took forever, but of course, I was also working at the time. Kahlua, honey. And stressed and getting ready for a baby to come. Okay, you gotta go. You gotta go. Okay, sorry. I don't like putting her down like that, but she's lately been going from side to side and just looking what she can rub against, and it's just too hard to crochet and concentrate on you guys and look at the camera when I got her butt right in my face. Believe me, she gets her snuggle time. She definitely gets her snuggle time. If I finish this and I still feel like I have things to talk about, I will just move on to my Christmas blanket, because I am so far behind. I got a lot of work to do on it. So, but anyway, how are you guys doing? I hope you're having a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. We have not, in my family, we have not celebrated Memorial Day weekend since I was a little girl. So, my aunt used to have Memorial Day, a party on Memorial Day at her house, and we would go there at least for dinner. We may not have stayed there a long, long time, but we at least went like for dinner. And we lived close enough that if for some reason I needed to go home, or I didn't feel good, or my brother did, or whatever, we could walk home. Or depending on if my stomach was bothering me, whatever, I could either go lay down on her bed, or my mom or my dad would take me home, and then they would go back. But most of the time, I guess I didn't really go home when I was older. I would get a hold of my best friend, and him and we would go out and go to the movies, or, whatever. So, but I miss my aunt. She's been gone for a while. I miss family gatherings. I just miss a lot right now. I wish we had a house where we could do, have dinners and things, but we don't. So we've got a lot of work that needs to be done, and it's a very, very tiny house. I wish it was still in the condition it was in when we first moved here. And I wish I would have stopped working before I did. Actually, well, maybe not stopped working. Not when I was massaging. I'm thinking more of before Emily was born. I wish I would have taken off to prepare a little bit longer. And so I would have had more time to work in the house and clean in the house and things like that. And I wish I wasn't always so tired and sick all the time that doing chores is just exhausting. And so my house never looks like it's, clean enough or whatever to me because there's so much more I need to be doing. But you can only do what you can only do. So, one of the things that I really, really, really need to try to do on this channel is to stop talking about how I'm feeling all the time because I was trying to find a video 2 days ago, and it felt like every time I opened a video while I was looking for it, all I was saying is about how, oh, it's been a bad week, or oh, it's been a rough month, or oh, I'm not feeling well. And while it's true, I need to stop. And that's one reason why I'm thinking of maybe bringing the cleansing breath in. Maybe it will help remind me to stop. You guys don't want to hear all the time about how I'm feeling and how, blah, blah, blah. So let's just say I promise I'm going to try to stop. It is a hard habit to break, and especially because, like right now, I'm going through something and I would like to talk about it, but then I'm like, no, I've talked about it with my friends, and just to suffice it to say something's going on. I don't know what it is, and I have a doctor's appointment this week to hopefully figure out what's going on. If it's something majorly important, of course I will share it with you guys. But now, I don't want to talk about I will talk about the fact that it looks like I'm going to have to wait to get my partial dentures until next year due to my insurance being almost out, my dental insurance. So, yeah, it's going to have to wait till next year. There's a possibility they may not pay any more on it than what they're saying right now, but I'm hoping that with more insurance available, that my part of it will not be as big as they're saying right now. But unfortunately, that means I may be without a front tooth for a while. I mean, I'm already without partial front teeth because I've got 2 of them that are broke. So, yeah, that's been fun dealing with all of that. But what's been really fun is just crocheting and trying to get some things done. I got the 2 patterns done for tech editing that I was doing. So I'm thrilled about that. I am waiting to hear back from my tech editing instructor who I'm doing a shadow program with right now. Trying to get my program together to do charts with because I have a designer who would like me to do some charts for her and charting, and I'm excited about that. That's a question for you guys. How many of you like to view charts to see how something is supposed to be put together through a chart? Let me know. I'm interested to hear about that. So I'm trying to decide if I want to tech edit and chart, or if I may just want to chart patterns every once in a while and not worry about the tech editing part. Although I really enjoy doing both. So much to do though. I have not even started on a whip this year, and it's supposed to be my year of getting a couple of them done. So once my daughter's birthday gift is done, I am bringing a whip down and I am going to get working on it. I wanted to wait until after the baby blanket that I am designing is done, which is supposed to be I have a friend who's holding me accountable, and I believe we put a due date for mid-June, which means I really need to get my button gear on that one as well. So many things I need to get my button gear on. It's been nice not having a due date. This is the first time I've had a due date in a very long time for this tester pattern. But it's been really nice not having a due date and having to worry about having to get something done by a certain time. I mean, unless it's a birthday gift, of course. My daughter's gift has to be done by the 30th. So, or whenever we're going to have dinner or whatever we're going to do with her. She keeps on telling us, I don't want to do anything. She should know better. We always, always celebrate her birthday. So I also have a box of cold brew pumpkin spice coffee in the back room for her, which I showed on an Ollie's haul. And I do believe I told you guys then that, oh my goodness, it is so good. So good. I've had so many different kinds of pumpkin spice coffees. And whenever I have made a hot pumpkin spice coffee, I don't taste the pumpkin in it. I mean, if it was a latte from Starbucks, well then, yeah, because they put in the pumpkin flavoring and all of that. But as far as using a pumpkin spice coffee, I never taste the pumpkin in it. Never. But I've always had just hot pumpkin spice coffee. And I don't know if that has something to do with it. Our new Keurig that our daughter got us for Christmas has the iced coffee feature on it. And I made myself a cup of the pumpkin spice iced coffee a couple weeks ago, and I was expecting it to be just like regular pumpkin spice coffee whenever I drink it hot. But I was surprised. I could actually taste the pumpkin in it, the pumpkin spice. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my goodness, I can taste it. You know, not like a latte or like the kind of lattes I used to get at the gas stations all the time, the ones with the powdered mix and, they're flavored. I think they called them latte coffees that, wow, so much sugar I'm sure was in those. But I used to I used to mix mine. So I'd get like English toffee and hazelnut, all these different flavors and mix them together. I always at least had mocha that was in there mixed with something. So yeah. And I used to get a little upset thinking that I missed those coffees. Wow. I can't believe I actually drank them now because now to me, they just I don't like the taste that the powdered stuff adds to it. So we had rain again last night. I don't know about the rest of you. You have to let me know how your weather's doing, if it's like true to form for your area or if it's off a little bit. Here it's off just a little bit just because it's raining so much. But I enjoy the rain. Kalua does not, but I do. I enjoy being able to go outside when you're having, especially if it's been a hot day and it's a nice cooling rain. Oh, I love to go and sit on the front porch and just sit and rock in the rocking chair and charcoal, our gray cat, out who goes in and out, who we cannot keep in the house, and not for lack of trying. Believe me, we've always been, my husband and I, the type of family that our cats stayed indoors. We do not let them outdoors, but because he came to us from outside, he will not stay inside. Same with Fluff. We cannot. I think we would have a better chance of keeping Fluff inside than we would of Chart. But even Fluff, he sees his best friend, who is a feral cat, who has calmed down so much since he got his since he was fixed. They're best buds. So as soon as he knows that he's outside on the porch, he's like, I gotta go, Mom. He's by the door. Let me out, let me out, I gotta go. So yeah, nothing better for me than a nice summer rainy day when it's a cool rain. I don't like warm rains. It has to be a cooling rain, but not freezing. Just a nice where it cools off the day because it's been so hot. I just love to sit on the porch and just watch it rain and sit there and pet Shark. And if it blows in at me a little bit, it blows in a little bit. I don't mind getting a little damp. Now, I don't want to get completely drenched, but I'm also the type who doesn't really mind that either. I've always been the type that I don't carry an umbrella, and even when I had an umbrella readily available in my car, I would forget. I would just forget to take it, and I would just run for it. And the sad thing is my daughter grew up to be that type of a person too, because even when she was little, unless we had her, little umbrella in the car, especially like if we just came from school and if she had to use it for school that day or whatever, with whatever character on it that she wanted at the time, she would just run through the water like I would. And my husband would be like, um, we have umbrellas. I don't know. I guess I just always loved the feel of the rain. And so many times growing up, my mom would forget the umbrella or would be in the car when it started to rain, or whatever. So I just learned that you had to run through it or stand at the door while she ran through it and went to get the car and came and got us. Well, then when I was the mother, I was the one who had to run through it. And depending where we were at, would depend on whether or not Emily stood at the door or not, because too many crowds and she didn't want to be at the door. Besides the fact that it's just kind of hard leaving your kids standing anywhere, even for a brief minute anymore. Always afraid they might not be there when you get back. I got to apologize to those of you that I normally watch your channels. Now, I did watch Ella last night, one of hers. I'm behind on Hannah. Hannah had finally gotten one up, and I haven't watched hers. I am so bad because we've been watching other things as a family. We watch cat videos. There's a cat sanctuary we watch that's in Wisconsin, and it services feral cats, nothing but feral cats. And it is so interesting to watch the shelter. They have, as they say, 350, and she'll motion in front of the camera when they're showing the cats, the 350, and then she'll do that because they're not supposed to have more than 350, but they do. And to see some of the cats that other shelters won't take in and tell them that, okay, these are all feral cats, and then they get them and, you know, they like snuggles and they like this and that, and they totally are not a feral cat because feral cats are scared of humans. So they do have an adoption service where they will put the ones up for adoption who can be acclimated to being in homes. Kind of like our charcoal and fluff, and a little bit the ones that maybe have been abandoned, who have had families who moved or whatever and just left them. So because of the fact that we watch um, different cat sanctuary, not just sanctuary, but cat videos, and a lot of them are of cats that are, you know, lost, and then they're found by an organization that goes out and feeds cats, like in India. I think we have one that we watch that's based out of India, and one that's based out of China or Japan. I'm not sure which one. And there's another one that's in another Mid-Eastern country that we watch. And Little Bit, bless her heart, you guys know, who have watched me, that we didn't lose, but she had kittens and none of them survived, so they were all lost. And unfortunately had more to do with somebody who was not good to them when she moved them to a neighbor's house where we thought they would be safe. But yeah, when she hears the kittens, she sits up and she's alert and she stares at the screen. And sometimes I think that she's upset, but other times she's so excited and she gets up into the screen and she tries to play with them. And so, yeah, when we're in here and my husband is relaxing and I'm relaxing and I'm just crocheting, and I don't particularly want to, you know, listen to somebody talk, but I have to be able to read the screen for the ones that aren't the cat sanctuary that we watch, because they will type down, you know, they'll put captions on where you have to read what's going on with the cats and how they found them, and, you know, the story of how they got the cats. But she just loves them. And now I found a farm, and I'm not sure where the farm is from. And the farm has, I watched, had dogs, and the guard dogs, and the one guard dog had puppies. Um, that was during the winter time. They have now, they had three guard dogs. Now they have four because it looks like they kept one of the puppies. They have a black and white cat, a male cat. Um, they have chickens and some of the big, I think, osprey, or they may just be ostriches. Um, Goats, miniature donkeys. I think I got pretty much everything that they have on the farm there. And it's just cool to watch them. The cats love it. They just love seeing all the different animals and watching. Dogs they're not that impressed with, but everybody else they are. So that's something that's popped up. And it's just interesting to see how they have the inner workings of the farm and, and everything. And so that's something that we've started watching. But otherwise, my true crime and stuff like that. I watched a really, really good movie last night. It's a new one on Netflix. I don't think I'm going to think of the name of it. I'm not even going to think of one of the main characters, her name, even though I should know it by now. I want to say it's Anna something, um, but it may not even be Anna. She was in, oh, what were those? It was a series of films, and it was about a college singing group. Sing It or something like that, maybe. She's the one who did the Red Cup song. She's in there. It is just so, so good. It's about two women who you wouldn't think who would become friends, who became friends um, due to their kids being in the same class. This is going to bother me. I need to go find the name of that. I will be right back. I am going to find the name of that film so I can tell you guys because it is a definitely must-see movie. It is so good. If you like suspense of any kind, it is really good. It's not over the top. It was actually pretty much just enough for me. I don't know. It was good. I couldn't sleep last night because my stomach was killing me. Um, which I guess I'm not going to tell you all of why I couldn't because I said I'm not going to keep talking about that kind of stuff. So I had taken my muscle relaxer. It did not put me to sleep, and I ended up turning on the movie then because I couldn't sleep and I was bored and there's only so many games you can play and I really didn't want to watch videos. I wanted to watch an actual movie because sometimes the movies will help put me to sleep. No. And then I was still awake and I started watching. They have a documentary about Ashley Madison. If any of you guys know about that app, it was an app for married people who wanted to meet other married people to have affairs with. Yeah. So I decided I'll watch it just to see, I don't know, see what happened in the fallout when they were hacked. Um, Not an app for me by any means, but whatever. As you guys know, I don't judge people. So But again, not one for me. So anyway, I will be right back. I'm going to go and find the name of that movie. Okay, it's called A Simple Favor, and it is so good. Oh, I meant to find her name and I didn't. Sorry about that. Um, anyway, I watched the one show also afterwards, like I said, the documentary, because I knew it would put me to sleep, and it did. So I don't even think I got through 15-20 minutes of it, if that, and I was out. So yeah. Oh, I just remember seeing the talk shows where the guy tried to explain why he was starting the app all those years ago. It was like, okay, whatever. I'm like, didn't need a dating app because I was already married. I definitely didn't need that. So my daughter was little, if I remember right. I don't know. But I didn't know a whole lot about it except for I saw it on the, what's her name? I wanted to say Lisa Gibbons show, but it's not her. The one who used to be the anchor for CBS. I can picture her face, but I don't remember her name right now. So anyway, I got my testing crochet done. Yay. The only thing is I don't know how much yarn I used because it came off of a scrap ball. But the person I was testing for knows that. I'm going to have to make some adjustments to it later to be able to use it the way I want to. It is done. Um, what else? I'm trying to think of what else I've been doing. I just got some shows to catch up on. Bridgerton is finally out. Yes, I am a Bridgerton fan. But there's so many other shows that I love, and I cannot believe that I still have not watched the next season of um, Magnolia Lane, I think is something like that. I think I'm combining two different shows. Firefly Lane, I love, but that one's done. Um, Magnolia, something Magnolia. They've had the new season out for that for months, and I have not watched it. And I think that part of the reason is because I had just watched the last one when the new season came out. And so I usually need, a little while before I'm ready to sit down and binge it again. That, and there's just been so many true crime cases that I've been trying to catch up on here lately. There are too many happening, which is really sad. I'm sad about it, but then I'm trying to hear what's going on. And too many that have happened all around at the same time within the last month or so. What else? Something else that I need to catch up on, and I haven't watched it. Virgin River. I haven't got caught up on that either, and I do believe they have a new season coming out on that as well. And I watched that around the same time. Sweet Magnolias, that's what it is. I watched that around the same time as Sweet Magnolias, and I haven't watched the latest, the last, I believe it's the last season of called The Midwife, season 12. So we got a lot of TV to catch up on. I think some of it's because I'm waiting for Outlander. Outlander's my show, and for other Outlander fans, you'll understand. You'll have to let me know if you happen to be one. I did make the Outlander cowl that was designed by, I'm going to call her, no, it's Tess. Tess loves this yarn. I just want to call her Trish. And I had enough yarn left over that I made myself a matching headband, but the headband's a little too loose. Oh, excuse me. I want to make myself a new cowl, um, maybe for this next season. I have to decide. I have some blooms yarn, and I have to decide if I want to use it in a cowl or if I would like to use it maybe in a sweater, because I want to use it more as a variegated yarn than to try and get whatever pattern on it there is. But in order to use it for a sweater, because I almost used it for the last cowl of last year, the Dreamcatcher cardie that I made, but I didn't have enough. So yeah, so I ended up not using it. It's kind of hard to use when you don't have enough. Somebody else was using it for hers, and she didn't like how it was turning out. But I was, from the part that I saw, I didn't see where it was when she decided to take it out. But I was loving it. I was loving how it was turning out. So, yeah, I'm one of those where I don't color control. I just take things as they come. I think now that I'm working on more shawls, though, that I may, when I use stripy yarn for a shawl, I may find myself needing to color control sometimes because, I mean, I'm not the type who wants like the color to change in the middle of a row on a triangle shawl. You know, that would be like at the peak. Or, you know, like in the middle of the side or something like that. I think that would look kind of funky. So yeah. So for something like that, I would color control it. But there was the way that that cardigan was made, there was no way to really truly color control it. And I knew that going into it. So when I was using the yarn that I used, oh, excuse me, which I used Scarfy, I didn't know how it was going to turn out. So the fact that it came out in the design that it came out in, I'm completely amazed, and it's completely gorgeous. I love how it came out. It came out like, oh, this is how it was supposed to, you know, like it was saying, this is how my pattern is going to go. Even though so many different places, you know, we did have twists and turns where you didn't expect them. Yes, I was going to work on the Christmas blanket, but somebody needs to have her pets before I start working on something else. And I'm going to get off here because all I'm doing is just shooting the breeze right now. Um, and yes, I love just sitting here and talking with you guys and asking you questions and seeing, you know, who will answer me and seeing who I can learn something new about, which is always fun. But I do need to go and make dinner. It is, oh, it's 8:50. It's still so light out because, you know, it's staying lighter later. I didn't even realize it was that late. I was thinking that it was still around like 7 o'clock when I started this, but no, it was around 8 o'clock when I started this. So I should have done dinner first, but I did not. And I'm only going to do like a snacky dinner anyway. I'm going to make tuna salad. So she should be happy, and so should her sister. I'm gonna make tuna salad, and then I'm going to cut up a cucumber into slices, and then I'm going to use those slices instead of crackers. So that will make it low carb. So yeah, I need to go do that. I had churros, or not churros. I always want to call them churros. Chaffles. I had chaffles for breakfast slash brunch because I got up kind of late. But yeah, I had those. And part of me is like, I want to go and make them again and have them again because they were so yummy. And they barely had any carbs in them. And I have the fixings for it. So I'm really tempted. And I have not put my mini iron away. I'm really tempted instead of doing the tuna. But I've been looking forward to the tuna all week ever since a friend of mine had put down that you could use, because when I showed my egg salad wraps in the lettuce in my group on Facebook, she wrote that, yeah, she's like, you could use that for tuna salad or chicken salad, which, yeah, I knew that. I just was using egg salad. Um, but she said, but you can also, she said, what's really good is to use um, tuna salad with cucumbers. And I was like, I wouldn't have thought of that. And then I was so excited because I would love sometimes when I'm not that hungry and my stomach has been bothering me, like it has been lately, and I've been having to tone my dinners down. I would love to just do crackers and tuna salad. I can't do crackers now because I would need a low carb cracker. And honestly, the only way I'm really going to get one is if I do the make your own Cheez-Its, where I make, excuse me, where you can make cheese crackers, basically a cracker that's made out of cheese. And I do want to make some of those. I really want to make some of those. Um, I need to think about doing that, but right now, with it so warm out, it's not the time of year to really be doing that in the oven. But I want to make some of those sometime. Maybe on a cooler day or something I'll try, or I'll just wait until winter. And then, but I love cucumbers, so tuna on cucumbers sounds really good to me. And that's what I'm planning on having for dinner, unless I cave and make the truffles because they'll be a little bit easier to make. And I have so many different flavors. I made earlier, I have which one was it? Was it the Cinnabon? It may have been cinnamon churro, and that's why churro's in my head. I have two different cinnamon chaffle recipes. One's for a churro and one's for like cinnamon bun chaffle. A churro chaffle or a cinnamon bun chaffle. And I like to take the main recipe because I really like how that chaffle turns out compared to some of the others that I've had. Like I have a recipe for chaffles that is made just out of mozzarella and eggs, and then whatever seasoning goes with it. I have found that I prefer the ones that, yes, still have mozzarella and an egg, but also has a little bit of baking powder, um, almond or coconut flour, uh, And the one that I happen to have also has like cinnamon in it because it's like I said, it's the churro or it's the cinnamon one. But I like how the batter comes out and I like how it tastes better when it has at least the almond flour in it. I have made the one that has the coconut flour and I liked it as well. Um, but this one I like even a little bit better than that one. And I just add my own stuff to it. It also calls for cream cheese, and I made it the last time without any cream cheese in it, and this time I made it with a little bit of the cream cheese mixture that I make. I've been making this mixture for a while now. I started way back, well, not way back, before my surgery when I lost all that the weight in order to have my surgery, which I did doing low carb. Uh, I just have to get somebody else back on board with low carb, not just myself. And I have to be watching them a little bit better because I do have some, not, I have a couple of low carb things that I like to eat at night. They're a little bit sweeter. Like I like the, what are they called? The Clio bars, and they are Greek yogurt bars. I've talked about them on here before. They're not frozen. They're in the refrigerator section. They're about that big. Right now I have the snack size ones. I have strawberry and I have vanilla. I love to get those because if I want something that tastes, they're not overly sweet because they've got the Greek yogurt in them. Strawberry's a little bit sweeter than the vanilla, and the strawberry one is almost pushing it for me, but it reins itself in just enough. So sometimes I'll have one of those before, like not right before bed, but when it's still in an okay time. But otherwise, I make a mixture, and I know some people aren't going to like the sound of it, but other people are going to be like, oh, I love my peanut butter. And peanut butter just has too many carbs. We don't live near, there's a place where I can go and get fresh, fresh ground peanut butter with, no sugar in it, and fresh ground almond butter where it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, but it is between Indianapolis and home when I go to Indy. We can't afford to go there that often. We might as well pay the larger price for almond butter here at home. And we can't afford the prices of sugar-free peanut butter or almond butter right now. So what I do is I take a block of cream cheese, I leave it out for like a half an hour to an hour so it softens on its own. I just made some today because I had just finished what I had made last night. Actually, this morning when I made my truffles. Um, Sorry about that. I add just a little bit, maybe a teaspoon of peanut butter. Well, I used to make it by 4 ounces of cream cheese. Now I make it with the whole block. So I will go like maybe a teaspoon and a half of peanut butter. And I mix it with the block of cream cheese so that I can have the flavor of peanut butter. Because one of my favorite things used to always be like on a bagel to make it a peanut butter cream cheese bagel, not just regular cream cheese, but to mix the two. And when I had waffles, in order to make them a little bit more filling to where I would only want to eat one or two, if it was, if it was the frozen Eggo waffles or whatever frozen waffle we might possibly have, which my husband compared the Eggo to a low carb brand. And because my dietitian has us going by the actual number of carbs and not by net carbs, uh, it's my husband compared them and he said it's basically like 2 carbs off. So we had just bought a big box of Eggo, although I haven't had one in months. But he said it would have been the same if I would have put out the money for the low carb version. It was only a couple carbs off. So I would put lots of times on top of my waffle peanut butter and just let it melt on it, or a combination of the peanut butter and cream cheese, again, because I like the combination. But what I also add to it is a little bit of chocolate syrup, just a little bit, give it that little bit of chocolate peanut flavor. And it's at least 6/8 cream cheese, less than an eighth of chocolate syrup. I mean, I literally take my Nestle syrup and go 1, 2 real quick around the bowl, and it's a small bowl, so it's like boom, boom, and that's it. And then the little bit of peanut butter, and then I stir it together. And if I'm hungry for something, and I just need something small, a little snack, my husband gets me the low carb tortillas, and I will put like a teaspoonful in the tortilla and wrap it up. And I mean, he gets me the little tortillas, the really little ones. So I'll put like a teaspoon in there. Every once in a while, if I have berries, I may put some berries in there with it, and then I'll eat that. Or the other thing I've been doing now is I've been buying at Walmart. They have celery that's pre-cut and put in these little bags, and they last in the bags because they seem to be like pressure sealed bags, vacuum packed bags. I'm not sure if they are for sure, but that's what they seem like. And you get like 4 celery sticks that are about that big, which is about all that I can handle. There are days that I love celery and there are days that I can't stand it at all. And they're just big enough, and I can put the cream cheese mixture on those. And for those, I use either that mixture, or I have some, I'm not going to think of the name of it. Kathy's sitting there probably telling me. Tzatziki sauce, the cucumber sauce that goes on a gyro. I love tzatziki sauce. So sometimes I'll get a small container, and then I will just put a little bit on the plate, and then I will use my celery. So I try to keep with low carb options all the time. So with that, I really need to go make dinner. I hope to see you guys again really soon. I didn't even bring up the fact about Keith's memorial. Cynthia Vannerson and I from Cynthia's Joyful Creations and I are going to be doing a memorial for Keith on June the 18th. I believe it's a Tuesday. So I miss him every day. I truly do. And I think of him often. And we wanted to do something for his memory. And especially because he was making cat toys at the time of his death. And he was so excited because he was going to be putting them in the mail for me. He had said like on Monday or Tuesday because he was supposed to have a surgery, a small surgery because of a mole on his face. And I know they had taken the one to biopsy it, but he was supposed to have, I think it was maybe for another one that needed biopsied, or maybe it may have been something else. I can't remember completely right now what that surgery was for, but I know it was an outpatient. It wasn't like a huge thing. And he was supposed to have it on Monday. And so he said he probably wouldn't get them sent to me until Tuesday, sent out. And he passed away that Sunday, the Sunday before he was supposed to have his procedure. So he's very missed by a lot of us. And we wanted to do something about that. I started thinking about it back at Christmas time. So, and then I asked Cynthia if she would like to do it with me because I know she was close to him, and her and I talk about how much we miss him. So, yeah, I hope to see you guys on the 18th. I really do. And if you want to make a toy, a cat toy, in honor of Keith, and either give it to your local shelter or you can send them to me and I can give them to the shelter I make them for. So, with that said, I'm going to get going. Please remember you're beautiful. And I love all of you. You matter. I said it backwards. Remember, you matter. Don't forget that. You're gorgeous and you're beautiful. And I love every last one of you. And I will see you soon. Later.